Hello, everybody. Welcome to my podcast, Sound Like It Is Radio Podcast. I am your host, of course, Pandora's Box, and on my other platforms, y'all know who I am. And I wanted to come on here. I was about to go to sleep, actually. I was having a little trouble sleeping. And I came to an epiphany when I was listening to someone when they were talking about knowing when not to respond and why you shouldn't respond to negative people and their accusations. This particular person, and I'm gonna post a video when I get off here because I downloaded it, but I'm gonna post it. But anyway, long story short, this person said that the reason why you don't respond to negative people is because the same way that Jesus was accused of a bunch of accusations that were nowhere near true, and the way that Jesus was betrayed by Judas and many other people, and how when he was in court, he sat still and didn't say two words. He didn't defend himself. He didn't say anything when the unless the one person said they could unalive him, and he said, "You can never unalive me. If anything, I'll unalive myself before you unalive me." Now, a lot of people don't understand why that's important. Why are we sitting up here responding to negative people? For what? What would be the purpose of you responding to somebody that basically you never walked up to, never introduced yourself to, never even it never even crossed your mind about this person? You never wanted to be this person's friend. You never wanted them to really know you. So why do you need to give them an explanation? And it really made me think. It took me back to when I was being attacked. And I kept saying, I don't owe nobody an explanation at all. And I kept saying, the same way that Jesus was being crucified, I was also being crucified the same way. No matter what, and in the beginning, I did try to defend myself. But then God one day said to me, "No, why are you doing this? Sweetheart, you don't need to defend yourself to these people. Because no matter what you say, they still gonna call you a liar." And that's exactly what happened. No matter what it was I said, no matter how many times things got proven that I was telling the truth about, I was still a liar. Even before I left, I was a liar. I was a pure T complete liar with no evidence of nothing. Nobody could prove that I was lying about anything. And the way that I was attacked, I felt no differently than the way Jesus felt. And that's why now you can't say nothing to me at this point. Because that's why now I can say things with no apologies. Because the way that I was attacked, I stood on what I said. I never once ever said I was going to apologize for what I said. I may apologize for the way I said it, but I will never, ever apologize for what I said. It will never happen. And then what really was even worse was the way that one time that I broke down crying, people thought it was funny. When I said something about pills, people thought it was funny. But I thank God that I'm very strong. I thank God that I was bullied before, and I've been bullied my whole entire life, so bullying doesn't exactly bother me at this point. And that is the reason I am the way I am, because no matter what I do, I'm accused of something, even if it's nowhere near accurate. Even though I'm a nice, sweet person, even though I'm a kind hearted person, even though I'm a godly person, I will always be looked at as, oh, because she's not society standards of beauty. Oh, because she don't do this and because she don't do that. Did it ever occur to you the reason I don't is because of what I just said? I'm not trying to be a part of society standards. I've never wanted to be a part of society standards. I never wanted to be the United States standards, and I certainly don't, because, like I said, when I was younger, if you would have paid attention to me, then you would have known that I said that I lived in Germany for 6 years. I have never taken on the American culture, and I will continue not to take on the American culture ever. I don't want to take on the American culture. The American culture is demonic. Clearly, I want no parts of it. Now, don't get me wrong. Like anybody else, you do gotta work. You do gotta take care of your family. So, of course, in that aspect, I have to. But when it comes to the way that women are in this country and the way men are in this country, absolutely not. Will I ever? That will never happen. So when I heard this, it kind of touched my spirit and it kind of hit home for me. And I'm not talking about this because of that situation. I'm talking about that because my whole entire life, people have always made accusations against me. People always think they know me and they always think how I'm going to do things or how I'm going to say things, and they're worried about me going off. But like I said, if anybody in my family know me, they'll tell you I don't care about embarrassment. I don't care about embarrassing them. I really don't care. Embarrassment is not something that I'm not used to. So there's no point of going to my family about anything concerning me because you'll be wasting your time. I don't even explain nothing to them. I am one of these people, I have absolutely no filter. And they would have told you that. Do you really think I have a relationship with my family to where I tell them anything? But see, apparently you didn't research, because if you looked on my Facebook panel, and what's funny is all the pictures of my child was there. Every single last picture of my child was on my page, just as clear as day. But they were under. It was under an album. It was under an album that y'all didn't think to look at. I had a bunch of albums with a bunch of pictures on it that y'all didn't think to look at. You looked at the outside of the pictures. And if you would have kept looking down, you would have seen me and my ex 7 years. 7 years. That man has lived with me and knows my son has lived with me. My son's father told you he lives with me. Do you really think I would put my son in harm's way, considering the fact the police came accusing me of stealing? Like I didn't know y'all weren't going to call the authorities eventually. There was a black young man who had autism who was shot in front of his mom by the police department for absolutely no reason. Do you really think I want something like that to happen to my child? You don't think, I mean, seriously, you had no evidence of nothing. Nothing. And that's why I decided to turn the tables, because I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to take all of this that I got to deal with because he going to prison. That's why I took everything that I took, because I knew he was going to prison. I knew he was going. I was the only one who knew he was going. If it took me taking all of what I had to take for that man to be going to prison, it was worth it. So I just sat still. Let y'all make them dumb, stupid videos. Sit right there and sit still. And I just sat there and took it. Wasn't easy, but I took it. Just like that day, When Fundy came up there making fun of me and saying everything she said, I sat there and I took it. Why? Because what they didn't know was I was exposing them just by sitting there being quiet. The same way Jesus sat there and was quiet was the same way I let all of them come up there and say what they had to say to me. That's why I didn't respond to them. That's why I didn't say nothing. I sat there because I wanted them to expose themselves. And that's exactly what they did. They exposed themselves. And they didn't even realize it. You're attacking a person that you have no evidence of nothing. You're attacking me because the man y'all was making money off of is now in prison. Which made everything I went through worth it. Because if what happened to me never happened, the domino effect would have never happened. Them girls would have never went to the authorities. It would have continued. I had to sit still and take all of those accusations. Everything my parents had to go through. I had to sit there and I had to take all that. But I did. Because God told me, nope, it's going to be worth it in the end. All you got to do is just sit still until I tell you to walk away, and then I'm going to go from there. I got it from there. I had to trust God in this situation. God was walking with me through the whole entire situation. And then when God said it's time to walk away, I walked away. And I made my peace with everything. But I told y'all before I walked away, and by November of 2024, that man is going to, no, I'm sorry, it was 2022. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. November of 2022, that man was going to prison. And I walked away after that. And as soon as I walked away, sure enough, November of 2022, and I'm sure somebody got that video of me saying that. Matter of fact, I said it on Lurker's page. So I'm sure Lurker still got it because I sure said it. I told y'all karma was going to be a bitch. And I sat there and said, all of y'all that did what you did to me is going to get what's coming to y'all. Because all of y'all going to get exposed. And sure enough, that's what happened. I told you, I ain't have to do nothing to none of you. Your karma was coming anyway. So when I left, I walked away and I was at peace. I walked away and I was quiet. I didn't say nothing. I just sat quietly. And then all my blessings started happening. And I was resurrected and now I'm a new person. Now I take what I went through and telling other people the same thing. Stop responding to negative people. Stop trying to prove yourself to negative people that ain't worth you. Because no matter what you say, they're going to continue to bully you. They're going to continue to attack you. Why? Because they want you to come off your throne and cuss them out. They want you to come on there and explain yourself. And then when it comes out, it ain't what they thought it was. Then they want to change the narrative. No, you can't change the narrative. It's just like when Nicki Minaj, when it came to Spotify, putting the portraits up, and Nicki Minaj wasn't there, and all them talking about, well, Nicki should have been there. Nicki was there because I saw the original thing that Spotify did. Nicki was there. But Nicki said no, she don't want nothing to do with none of them girls. She don't want nothing to do with none of them. So at the end of the day, they pulled her. So that's why. And then the Barb's talking about, oh, because she's a queen and she's black. No, because y'all was all pissed off about it. No, we ain't doing that. Oh, you ain't gonna switch up now. Because y'all was ready to ban Spotify, and you can't even be man or woman enough to even say you wrong. Y'all can't even take accountability for the fact that y'all said that Nicki Minaj wasn't on there. When I saw the original one they did, she was there. I saw it myself. Somebody from, I think, Instagram, one of the shade room or somebody posted the original. The original one, and Nicki was there. But she told them to take her off. She don't want nothing to do with them girls unless it see fit for her. Like I said, I'm not somebody that judges anybody. Like I said, my whole thing is your choice is your choice. I'm just a person to tell you what come with it. Take everything that come with it. A lot of y'all cannot take what you dish out. A lot of y'all cannot stand on what you say because you can't. A lot of y'all think you can sit up there and tell somebody who you don't know what their life is. How you gonna tell somebody who went through the situation what their life is? How you gonna tell somebody that got sexually assaulted they didn't get sexually assaulted? Okay. Now, mind you, there are people out here who lie. They do. They lie. But that doesn't mean that everybody's lying. At the end of the day, the truth will always prevail. It always does. The truth never comes in the beginning. It always comes in the end. And that's why when it comes to people, I look at the representation of the person. That's what I look at. I don't look at the fact of what you comes out your mouth. I look at the things later on down the line. Because your representation is not who you are. Who you are when I met you is not who you are 6, 7 months, 20 years down the line, because you are going to change. You are going to grow. You are going to evolve. So you're not going to be that person when things change. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to just go say, you're not the person I used to be. No, either you're going to be a better person or you're going to be a negative person. Either way it go. But at the end of the day, like I said, the fact that people think that some people can't take what they dish out, oh, they can take it. They know how to sit still. They know how to be patient and go through the storm. But when they come out of it, they're going to come out of it way better than you are. Because some of y'all don't know how to sit still. You don't know how to be that lamb that's being led to the slaughter and get all these wolves around it trying to attack it. And every time they try to attack it, as long as that lamb is in that light, they can't attack it. So every time the lamb was near light, they couldn't touch it. But as soon as the light went out, that's when they attacked. The problem is, because the lamb was able to look around and see when they tried to attack, as soon as it got dark, it ran. And it knew where it was running to. And the only reason that the lamb survived is because God made sure that lamb survived. All the lamb had to do was sit there and hold on. Just like Jesus was able to resurrect from the dead, despite what happened to him. And he told them that he was going to resurrect from the dead. And he did. And so the lesson in this is, I don't care what nobody say. If I don't want to know you, I don't owe you an explanation about anything. I don't owe you an explanation why my hair is the way it is. I don't owe you an explanation as far as why I dress the way I do. I do because I want to. Why don't I have a man? It's none of your business. I don't want one. Who I date and from my past has nothing to do with who I am now. Those people just made me stronger. I wasn't meant for none of them people. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with my past. I'm okay with every single solitary flaw, imperfection, if I had a disability or mistakes I've made in my past. I don't feel bad about none of it. I'm not embarrassed by my flaws and imperfections, which is why I choose to show them. Because I ain't ashamed of it. I'm not trying to be wearing makeup and covering up something. I'm going to be who I am regardless. I don't care if you do feel that it's embarrassing. Who is you? Who are you to tell me that I'm embarrassing? I am more free than you would ever be. I am more free than everybody in this country. Why? Because I ain't hide nothing. I ain't got nothing to hide. I just don't have to explain it to you. If I choose to wear my to show my bald spot, that is my decision. If I decide to come on with a bra and panties, that is my decision. If I decide to do whatever it is I choose to do, that is my prerogative. I have the right to do it. You ain't got to deal with me, and you don't have to be friends with me. You can keep right on going and keep right on walking and rock yourself right out my life. So I say it the same way I've always said it. If you got a problem with anything that I do, you can Xbox yourself and PlayStation your butt on, because I ain't got time for it. And you can wheel yourself all the way to the park for all I care. Because I don't need validation from nobody if you ain't paying me. If you're not putting a roof over my head, a car to drive, if you ain't putting no money in my pocket, I don't owe you any type of validation. If it ain't my baby, I don't owe you no validation. I don't even owe my parents any validation. I owe nobody no validation at all except God and Jesus. That's it. And that's because my grandmother done raised me on the Bible. I just got me a new Bible the other day. Man, y'all go ahead on someone. Them negative comments meant absolutely nothing to me. But at the same time, I have every right to cry. I have every right to hurt. I do. I have every right to break down crying when I'm at my wit's end because I'm sick and tired. I got every right to get up here and dance and be silly if I choose to. I have every right to be in lingerie if that's what I want to wear, regardless of what my weight is. I have the right to do whatever I want to. I don't care how embarrassing it is. It might be embarrassing to you, but it's fun to me. And that's all that matters. And that's the one thing my family had to accept about me. I don't care nothing about what people think. The only reason I probably will put on a wig is because the fact that I got respect for my parents. I ain't trying to, because just because I don't care don't mean that they don't. That they do, they actually do care. So for them, I'll dress up for them. Only for my mama and my daddy and my child. That's it. For the rest of y'all can go on somewhere at the end of the day. Because my whole thing is, I don't have time to sit up here as someone that has been resurrected from all this nonsense. I refuse to go backwards. I refuse to argue with anybody. That's why it was just so funny when I was on, Aunt Your Mama's channel. Shout outs to her. And I was on her channel, and something in my mind was telling me when I went over there, they were going to confront me. I kind of knew that. That's why I'm sitting there just laughing because I don't care nothing about none of this. You went after my child, and I ain't never going to forget that. I ain't never went after nobody's child to the extent of how my child was treated. The only thing I said is, if people keep going after somebody's child, which is true, somebody gonna end up getting hurt. People going after people's wives and going after people's children, going after people's families. What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? You talking about y'all and godly people? Godly people where? Where are these people godly people at in that situation? Please explain how any of these people were godly people. Then what's even worse is you bring Mr. Marquez up there talking about me like these people know me. And I'm sitting there and I've always said, when I went to him about trying to help, he said Jazzy was helping him. I said, okay, but I still will try to get information to help you. That was it. I kept on pushing. Right now, I'm concerned, and I hope to pray to God that she's okay. I'm not gonna say who the person is, but there is someone that's in the hospital right now that I really truly care about in this situation. And I pray to God that she gonna survive. And if she don't, it's gonna devastate me because this person has been there for me through this whole entire situation. And if she's gone, I'm gonna be devastated. And I don't even know how. I mean, I know I'm gonna get past it, but it's gonna be hard. As a matter of fact, I need to text. I need to text tomorrow to make sure they're okay. I'm not gonna get into who it is, but the person right now is in a hospital with a very serious situation going on. And like I said, this person has been there for me through all of this. And like I said, if anything happens to them, I'm gonna be devastated. But I'm gonna honor this person because of the fact that they were there for me and supported me. And I sat there with this person and I was there for her. And I am gonna pay tribute to this person if I find out what everything that I need to know. Because I'm gonna probably end up calling tomorrow to find out how she's doing and if everything is okay. Which I hope and pray it is. Because like I said, this person has a very beautiful spirit and a very beautiful soul and is a very good person who went through a lot in this situation because of their child. But like I said, I just hope that they're going to be okay. And when I found out, I was devastated. All I could say was my thoughts and prayers, and I'm praying for this person, and I'm going to call to see if their children can tell me how she's doing. Because I just texted her randomly just to see how she was doing, and they told me she was in a hospital. And I wish I could get there, but I can't get there. But like I said, I hate I never got a chance to meet her. So at the end of the day, like I said, at least she got to see him go to prison at least. But trust me, if and when I find out, hopefully I'll get to talk to her son to make sure she's up to find out what's going on. But at the end of the day, I appreciate them telling me because I just text randomly just to see how she was doing, and they told me she was in the hospital. So, like I said, when I find out what's going on, if she did pass away, I am going to honor this woman. And I'm going to pay tribute to this woman because this woman was there for me. And I'm going to try to get down there to meet her family so that way I can go and pay my respects because I want to go and pay my respects because I feel I need to. I just hate the fact we never got a chance to meet. But I know if she is, she's an angel looking down on me and protecting me like she always has been. And I'm going to have some words. But I'm going to keep it classy. I'm going to keep it cute. Because I'm going to honor this woman because she deserves to be honored. It's just a shame that her daughter is not doing the same. But like I said, it ain't about me. It ain't about her. It's about her mama. Anyway, like I said, you'd be amazed how people suffer in silence. How people are going through things and you have no idea they're going through what they're going through until it's too late. And this is like the second person within 5 years that's older than me that passed away from something, either cancer or lupus or whatever. So, like I said, I don't know how she's doing. I'm gonna have to call and make sure she's okay. So, like I said, I'm not somebody that is nothing like y'all think I am. I am somebody that if somebody going through something, I'm gonna sit there with it, I'm gonna hold their hand through it, and we gonna go through it together. We gonna cry together. Cause you have no idea how many nights me and this woman have sat around and cried. Many nights. Sat around and cried about her daughter. So at the end of the day, I will never forget this woman because this woman thought of me like a daughter. So you know what? I ain't concerned about nobody in that sector right now, considering what I'm dealing with right now. I could care less about any of that because I'm still here. Despite all of that, I'm still here. And I am thriving. And I'm doing well. And if she did, which I hope not, regardless of how it turns out, I am never going to forget this woman. And I'm going to continue to honor this woman and still be the positive person I am. I'm still going to check and make sure everything is good with her grandkids. I'm still going to make sure that I make sure that they're good because I'm promised that I would. I'm going to continue to do the right thing. I'm going to continue to be the person that I was with her and will continue to be that person. Because if she can go through everything she going through and if she and despite what happened, she was still standing through everything that she had to go through, I certainly could go through all of this. Because she inspired me that I got this. Even days when I didn't think I did. This woman told me, no, you got this, baby. You go out there and you keep speaking for these families. You keep speaking for us because none of these other people can speak for us the way you spoke for us. So at the end of the day, I don't care what nobody says. Because what she and I had, a lot of these people who claim they were about these families never had. So I'm not going to sit up here at this point and ever in my life, ever explain anything to anybody. Y'all not messing with my peace, quiet, and tranquility. You ain't. You ain't making me go against God to get off my can't think right now. I'm in tears. I'm not getting off my throne that I from the 12th dimension. I'm not getting off the 12th dimension to come down to the third dimension and argue with nobody because I'm just not doing it. Not in 2024. I'm just not doing it. I am not losing my life because of stress. I'm not losing my life because I'm taking care of somebody as a mommy, daddy, child. I'm not doing it. I am not sitting up here wasting my time on people who don't want me. If you don't want me, that's fine. I don't care. Go ahead and free yourself. I don't care. Because, like I said, I'm 50 years old. What I look like worrying about a bunch of people twice my age who don't know my story, don't know what I've been through, but yet you had a whole bunch of assumptions, and I got somebody that's fighting for their life? That is fighting for their life. And you think I care about what you think about me? You think I care about all of this? I don't. I don't. All I want is for that woman to fight for her life. That's all I want. And if God forbid she passed away, then yes, I'm going to be in tears. I'm in tears now just thinking about it. But I'm going to carry on her legacy. That's one thing I am going to do. And the one thing I'm not going to do is go off on her daughter, even though I would love to right about now. But I'm not. But I'm hoping by me honoring her mother, honoring this woman in the way she deserves to be honored, is the least I can do. And I'm a bad person? Where am I a bad person at? So the strength that she had and what she's dealing with right now is the strength that I'm going to have through the rest of my life. I wish I could have been there. I wish I could have met her and the kids. I really do. But whatever the situation is, whatever the circumstance is, I will continue to never forget this woman. Because she was a sweet, kind, compassionate person who all she wanted was her daughter away from a legio bishop. So like I said, regardless of what happens, I am going to honor this woman. I am going to pay tribute to this woman because I cared and I loved this woman like she was my mom. And she loved me like I was her daughter. So I'm going to continue to be the person that she saw me as. I'm going to continue to be the light that she always knew I would be. And I so appreciate her. I do. And it breaks my heart just the fact of what she's dealing with. But you know what? I got faith. I do. And my faith in God is not going to waver for nobody. So like I said, if she can go through what she's going through and survive, considering what she's dealing with, so can I. And the reason I'm not going to get into it because it's not my place or my business to get into it, I just know she's in the hospital. Last time I talked to her, her family members, she was in the hospital. So apparently they knew who I was, so they responded back. All I know is this here. Life is too short to sit up here and worry about who don't like you, to worry about who don't accept you, who don't approve you, who don't know your worth or your value, who are not validating you, who don't accept you, who don't approve you or want you to be a part of what they got going on. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? I don't. There is more important things to be worrying about than something like that. I'm listening to women. I hadn't even posted it yet. I'm listening to women upset because they now are single mothers. Now they can't go nowhere. Now they can't go out and do what they want to because their kids won't let them go nowhere without them. And this one lady said she had a nanny or something like that. And I said, well, then put him in daycare. She said she can't even put him in daycare because all he does is cry. And then what really was a kick was she said she was an entrepreneur. I'm like, well, if you're an entrepreneur, then I don't see what the problem is. People up here being irresponsible, running around having fornication, having sex with all these different people. And then when you get pregnant, now you're raising a baby by yourself. Now you gotta do it by yourself. Can't go out, can't do all this stuff no more. That's why I say I love how y'all try to justify your behavior and not take accountability when you get pregnant. It is not easy raising a kid by yourself. I don't know where everybody believes this. A child needs both their parents. And with men, they don't have to stop their career. They don't have to stop nothing in order for them to raise kids. All they got to do is pay child support, alimony, and spouse support. That's it. They are not required to take care of these kids. Now, in some states, depending on the situation, now I know for married couples, they changed it. Now, each one gets them every other week. Whereas if you're a girlfriend or boyfriend, that is not the case. So, like I said, there are some things that matter to people more so than what y'all think matters to them. And I think that's why a lot of y'all get mad, because some of us just don't care. We ain't chasing behind y'all. We're not explaining ourselves to you. We just do what we want to and call it a day. And we're just happy with that. We're just people that's godly people that minds our business and be indoors and enjoying our peace and quiet and tranquility. That's about it. Like I said, recovery is a forever thing. I don't care what nobody says, it's forever. You will forever be going through something. You'll be forever dealing with something. And the whole thing is get to the root of the problem so you won't keep going through it. Because if you change, everybody that's around you ain't got no choice. Either step up or step out. At the end of the day, like I said, life is too short to let people's crucifixions of you define who you are. And who you are is not the makeup. If y'all don't think these females are covering up something, some of y'all don't even need makeup, but you put it on anyway. Put it on for what? What are you putting on makeup for? Why do you need makeup? For what? What type of woman are you trying to be? Seriously, what are you trying to be? Eventually that man is going to see you without makeup. So why in the world? What is the point? What is the point of wearing something if you don't want men to sexually assault you? If you don't want men to basically pay you the attention that you don't want, then why dress like the way you do? It makes no sense. And then y'all want to say, I should be able to wear what I want to. Yeah, you can wear what you want to because you're grown. You are grown, so you have every right to wear whatever it is you want to wear. By all means, wear it. Wear what you feel. Thought about dating a woman a long time ago. Like I said, at the end of the day, like I said, I love me. Flaws and all. I love the woman I am. I know I'm a good person. I know I'm a positive person. I know that I have not done anything to nobody intentionally to hurt nobody. Cause like I said, I don't bring people into my own problems. I don't go to nobody asking them for money. I don't even like asking nobody for money. That was even more funny when I was accused of, when I said my lights got cut out. I didn't say nothing about asking somebody for money. Mel's the one that posted my information. She admitted to it. I never said anything about it. All I know, Lurker texted me and said, go look. And I was like, what are you talking about? She said, go check your cash. I didn't know what it was for. I didn't know what was going on. And I was truly, truly grateful. From the bottom of my heart, I was grateful. But people even took that and made it into something that it wasn't. Like I said, I don't understand. There are people in this world that all they want to do is be who they are instead of being what somebody else wants them to be. They just want to be happy. And there are other people that want to be accepted in society standards. They want to have the husband and the kids. And there's some of us who don't want it. And y'all get mad because the ones that don't want it, because they already know they're not going to be chosen. They already know they're never going to be accepted. So why in the world am I wasting my time for? Like I said, I'm a good person. And I love me. So, like I said, at the end of the day, nothing happened. Nothing happened at all. All I'm saying is this here. I want people to understand, please stop explaining yourself to people. Please stop trying to explain something to people. Stop trying to hold on to people that don't want you. The minute they say they don't, just say, you know what? It was nice meeting you and keep it pushing. That's what this is about. And through my spiritual sabbatical, I didn't even realize I was even in a spiritual sabbatical when I went through the situation. But I realize now that's what I was in. I was in an isolation where I was already going through something as it was. I was already going through a transition because I was going through medical issues at the time. I dealt with a man that wanted to be a Legio bishop. And I was just getting through all of that. Woke up one morning, saw that man on my television, went on my podcast, and started talking about it. And had over 10,000 people that were listening to it. I just wanted fathers to be more involved in their children's life. That's how it started. I think if men were more involved and more in the household with their baby mamas versus being out here messing around with everybody's mama, we wouldn't have these gossiping conversations. But I get it. We have to figure out why it is that we're bringing kids in the world first before marriage, before we even know each other, before we even live our lives the way we're supposed to. You got kids under the age of 22 getting pregnant, under the age of 22 for the vast majority, having their first child before they even turn 25. And they ain't been through nothing. So we gotta change some dynamics here. We gotta change dating. I don't think no young person should be dating till they turn 18. I don't even think nobody should be dating till after they graduate college and been in their job for about 3 years. All I'm saying is this. If you're a positive person, you're going to go through some type of negativity one way or another. Whether it's people, whether it's medical, whether it's powers that be, regardless of who it is, you're going to be dealing with negativity regardless. There's no way around that. There's absolutely no way around that at all. So all I'm saying to people is this here. I'm just using my situation as an example. So before everybody thinks I'm venting, no, I'm not venting. I'm actually using my situation as an example of why no matter what you do, you're going to be crucified. If you don't fit society standards, you're going to be crucified. If you don't fit society standards, you're going to be lonely. If you don't fit society standards, you're going to be bullied and everything else under the sun. They don't want people to have their own minds and being able to make decisions on their own and being able to do things for themselves. Nope, they don't want that at all. They don't want people to be independent, self-sufficient, and dominant. Nope, they don't want that either. That would be too easy. They want people to be confined to just do whatever it is they want you to do and not what you want to do. So this is why I'm saying that when it comes to somebody, like for a child, I get it. A child does not know how to defend themselves from bullies because parents don't even tell them who is exactly considered a bully. Parents are not sitting down prepping their kids about going to school and how to deal with bullies. They're not teaching them that. You're not sitting down with your kids and telling them the correct way of having sex and why they should not have sex. No, you're not telling them nothing. So because they only have their friends to listen to, that's why they're in the predicaments that they're in, because they have nobody to basically monitor them. And then when you decide you want to be a parent, they're like, how in the world are you going to try to be a parent now? And I'm already grown. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying now. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's just like the situation with Young Thug and what's going on with this new judge. This judge is basically going in on the prosecution. Now I might talk about the YSL case because the YSL case that is getting good because I'm glad they got rid of that judge because that judge was going to convict Young Thug based upon that prosecution. And that's another example of what I'm speaking on. The fact that they really don't have any evidence that Young Thug had anything to do with a lot of things. They're assuming, and every person that came up there said, "Yeah, we know him, but we know him as an artist." And I am glad this judge is like, "Nope, we ain't doing all that. Nope, we ain't doing all that. You're not gonna be having 100 and something people. You gonna have 30 people done by the end of the week. So you ain't got time to procrastinate at this point." So I'm happy about that. So like I said, I don't get it. But everybody's different. Everybody, how they deal with their situation is different. But all I'm saying is, if somebody say something they don't know you, just tell them. Go ahead and pull up the receipts. Go ahead and put it out there. I don't care. Go ahead and put it out there. Because why would it matter to me that you put it out there? I'm not going to explain it. And as long as I don't explain it, I can keep pushing. All I know is I already lost my job once. That ain't nothing new. So all I'm saying to y'all, stop. If you a godly person, please stop allowing people to take you off your throne and making you lower your standards and lowering who you are and lowering your intellect, lowering you as a godly person to come down to the secular world. Nope, absolutely not. Nope, I ain't doing it. And that's what I learned on this sabbatical. I learned that I don't want to be a part of the secular world. I don't. Now, do I have to be in it? Yeah. Because I go to the store, ain't no telling what may happen. I don't care if I walk out the door, ain't no telling what happened. But the point that I'm trying to make is, if I got to come down to the fourth dimension, there is a reason I'm coming down here. And it ain't got nothing to do with anything of an argument. It's me coming into the world because I have to. Meaning, I got to go to Walmart and go get some. I got to go here and go get some. But it ain't got nothing to do with no confrontation. I know that much because I certainly am not going to do it. I'm not confrontational. I am not violent. So all I'm saying is this here. This has nothing to do with me. I'm just using my situation as an example. There are millions of people that commit suicide every day. There are millions of people that don't feel they're good enough and that they're worthy, and their self-esteem, self-worth, and self-values is pretty much messed up. So yeah, forgive me for my confusion. So all I'm saying to y'all is stop worrying about these people. Because when you find out about them, you're going to be like, wait a minute, how is this person worse than I am? This person looks like, man, do you know I got pictures of people? I've seen what they look like. And I'm in shock. Like I said, it's just like, when Kimmy exposed certain people. I was in shock and matter of fact, I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't know nothing about it until somebody, I don't know if they reached out to me. Yeah, they did, but it was months later. They ran into me by accident. And they said, you need to go look at Kimmy's video. And I said, why? They said, honey, just trust me. You need to go look at it. I went over there and looked at it. I could stop laughing. I could not stop laughing. Because that same day, I went live that day. And I said, it was funny that I had said something about that right before she said something. And I had no idea that what I said was going to be the domino effect of what she did. Because I had came on before she came on. And so nobody, and I kept saying, why did nobody send me this? Then I figured out why. Okay, I remember now. I was on Deputy Dog's channel. That's what it was. I was on Deputy Dog's channel. I had no idea it was him and CX 1400. I never forget it. They were up there because it was these two dudes that was up there arguing. Now I remember. They was up there arguing back and forth, and his girl was going back and forth with somebody. And I was like, what in the world is going on? And so they were just filling me in on everything that was going on. And then that's when he told me there was a video about Kimmy exposing somebody. I was like, okay. But I didn't go in and look at it at the time. But then somebody said, you really need to go look at that video. I said, why? Trust me, you need to go look at it. So I went and looked at it. And I saw Deputy Dog up there, and I saw a few other people up there. I could literally see them, but I could hear their voices. But then when I saw the picture and what was up there, I was like, what is that? But then when she said the person that was on that picture, I was in shock. I was like, I knew it. I knew it. It explained why this person was so pissed off when I said that he had an obsession. It explained why this man was coming at me the way it was. No wonder. It made sense. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. So you mean tell me I was right about what I said? I was like, wow. I mean, I was in shock. Then he had an audacity to say, oh, she gonna come defend me. She said, no, she ain't. She already did a video about you earlier, calling you the same thing that I'm just now posted. I didn't know. I had no idea I was right. I'm just sitting there like, why is this man coming at me like this? And it really was scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was scary. I felt like I was being stalked. I felt like I did when I was sexually assaulted. And y'all don't understand how that feels. So for her to go up there and prove that I was right about what I said, because I was like, why does this dude so determined to find out what my channels are? Why is if you don't like me, why are y'all bothering me? I ain't done nothing to nobody. But God was like, this is all a part of it. All you need to do is just sit still and not say nothing. Like I said, all I had to do was sit there and not say nothing. But boy, when she pulled that up and I saw that, I'm just sitting there like, you can't be serious. I was in shock. I wasn't shocked, but then again, I was. I was shocked because she finally, y'all thought, like I said, I kept telling people, stop messing with me. I'm not somebody to mess with because I ain't got to do nothing to you. But when I say something, understand it come with something. But I just thank God that people started getting a taste of their own God-forsaken medicine. So I didn't have to do nothing to nobody. And I said the wrong person, and I kept saying, keep on messing with people. Everybody ain't me. Everybody's not just gonna walk away from you and not even speak to you and call it a day. Other people gonna come at you and they gonna expose daylights out of you. That's what they're gonna do, and that's exactly what happened. At the end of the day, I was not nowhere near there. I was minding my business when all of that came out. So, like I said, I'm somebody. I ain't got time for all of this. My time is too precious. That's why yesterday, when I said what I said to Huggy Bear, I meant what I said and I stand on it. You gave all these people all of these intros that did absolutely nothing with it. Nothing. Like I said, me personally, if I work hard on something, I'm not giving you something to just sit up here and just do YouTube beats. And I do a dope intro, and you mean to tell me the only thing you gonna do is sit around and talk about people? Well, if y'all go ahead on somewhere. It is some people that have a lot of talent that I wish they would stop these godforsaken YouTube beats. I really do. I really wish they'd stop responding to people. I wish they wouldn't even worry about it. Matter of fact, I wish they wouldn't even care at this point. So at the end of the day, this ain't nothing against nobody. I'm just using all this stuff as an example. So, like I said, at the end of the day, for somebody that's going through the same thing that I'm dealing with, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth the headache, stress, and strain of it. It ain't. So all I'm saying is anything is possible. But feeding in the negativity and trying to get revenge and cussing people out, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it at all. It's just best to walk away, laugh, and walk away from it. Problem is when you do, they get mad about it. They get mad because they're talking about how you just gonna go and just not say nothing. What do you want me to say? If I cuss you out, I'll be in the wrong. If I don't say nothing, I'll be in the wrong. I'll be in wrong no matter what I would do. Cause you ain't never gonna let it go. So I'm good. I'm good. I ain't even mad at it. Like I said, I have emotional intelligence. That might be why. But that don't mean I ain't got the right to cry. And it don't mean that in my privacy of my home, I ain't got the right to deal with it, because I do. I got every right to deal with everybody else. Don't we all? So I just want people to understand this is not anything personal towards nobody. But what I want people to understand is there are kids out here who do not know how to defend themselves from bullies. There are kids out here that are committing suicide every single day because they don't think their parents understand. So let me break it down from that perspective, because you're a mother as well. Okay, you have a child that's being bullied. You tell them to ignore it and act like it didn't happen. Kid, you can't do that. That's unrealistic. Nobody's gonna be able to forget that they were bullied. That's just not gonna happen. But what you have to do, for me personally, you tell me my child is being bullied, I'm going straight to the police office. I'm not going to the school. I'm going to the police office, because if this child got money, I'm going to the police department. And the first thing I'm going to do is get a restraining order against that child to stay away 100 feet from my child. Number two, if I got to take off work to go pick him up, I'll go pick him up and drop him off. Number three, if I got to homeschool my child, I got to do what I got to do is best for my child. That's just the way that goes. That's just how that works. A child is not going to know how to deal with a bully, especially if their own parents are bullies. So what I need people to understand is stop putting these kids on these expectations like they're adults. It's just like all these kids that work in the industry. They're kids, for God's sake. But yet they're working like they're adults. But at the end of the year, who pay taxes? Mom or dad? That's all I'm saying. So be mindful of that. You're putting your child in an adult scenario already. It's just like when it comes to, like, okay, I'm gonna use these puppies for example. There are these puppies that I watch every single day, and it's Missy and Elliot. They had 8 puppies, and I only think they had them maybe a year, and he got her pregnant. So we watched her go through her little pregnancy, her little swollen little belly, and she had the 8 puppies. We didn't see the 8 puppies being born, but she said when she came back in there that the 8 puppies were born. Now the 8 little puppies are so cute. They're Shih Tzus, really cute little. I always wanted a Shih Tzu because they're small. I always wanted a small little dog, but they're expensive, so I'm not getting one. So anyway, so when the babies were born, she did, at first she was trying to feed them, but like I said, anybody know anything about breastfeeding? It does hurt when they start getting teeth. Okay, so she was cool with it when they didn't have teeth, but when they started getting teeth, she was like, absolutely not, am I feeding these babies? Now, mind you, she's a teenage puppy. She's not an adult puppy. She was a teenage puppy when she got pregnant. So of course she ain't gonna sit there and feed no babies. So they kept all but one of them, Miss Marley, her little cute self. She's so cute. She's like a black, not a shih. She's like a Shih Tzu, and I forgot what Elliot is, but she reminds me more so of Missy because she's so mischievous. But I've been watching them puppies for a while, and so it's just like that. Why would a puppy end up pregnant, and then you think this puppy is going to feed these babies? No, and she still act like she ain't had no babies. Missy is something. That dog is something. But she is so adorable. She's like white. She is a pretty dog. She's a really, really pretty little dog. And I really do want one. She's cute. She made me want to have a Shih Tzu. They're cute. But I mean, I'm just saying, it's no different than a dog. Y'all be thinking dogs don't understand y'all. Yes, they do. They do. But it's the same thing with a dog. If you don't train them how not to do certain things, they're gonna do it anyway. So at the end of the day, it's no different than that. Just be mindful of the people you deal with. That's it. At the end of the day, it's the same way you gotta train a dog, it's the same way you gotta train kids. It's like when you'll tell them not to mess with your stuff on the counter, but you're not telling them how to deal with other kids and why they shouldn't be following other kids when it comes to negative situations. You gotta be honest. If you don't want your child smoking ganja, then you need to make sure you show her why she shouldn't medically, and that will change the whole dynamic. So if you taking the time and your child saying I'm being bullied, oh don't worry about it, I'll take care of it, because their sins are yours until they're 12, based upon the Bible anyway. So after 12, like 13, they're on. It's all you. So I get it. I do. I absolutely get it. But like I said, if you really think about it, and you're somebody that has to listen to people, you find a lot of parents didn't even raise their kids. They didn't. They ain't teach them nothing. They just tell them what they not gonna do, but you don't explain to them why they shouldn't do it based upon your own experience. No, you don't tell them nothing. Y'all act like y'all ain't been through nothing. I'm like, dude, that is not the way to raise your kids. Every time my son did something, we sat down for an hour and I talked to him about as far as why it was wrong. And I would always say to him, look, who was the person that was influencing you to do whatever? Pretty much. That's what I do. So at the end of the day, all I want to know is who was you with? I want to know who was the person that came up with the idea. And that's all I need to know. Because I already got everything else. And then I'm going to sit him down and tell him why what he did was wrong. And it ain't going to be no me yelling at him or even putting him on punishment. It's going to be more so, look, you are going to be on punishment, but I don't want you sitting up here crying. That's one thing I tell my son. If you done got in trouble, you better not even think about crying, because you're going to take everything that come with it. Now, when it comes to his feelings are concerned, that's a whole different entity. Yes, I will, definitely, respect his feelings. If he feels like, mommy, you hurt my feelings, I'm like, baby, I'm sorry. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. That's why I had to learn that it's not about what he did. It's about who he was with. How did they influence my child, and why did you let these kids go against me? That's what I want to know. And they'll say, well, you're never home and you're never around, and these people accepted me. Sweetheart, they didn't accept you. They just wanted you to commit a crime so that way you can take the fall for it. Sometimes you got to be honest with your kids. You got to tell them the truth. Because majority of the time, these kids are not befriending your kids because they genuinely like your kids. They're befriending your kids because they're going to peer pressure your kids to go against you. They're the first one. The friends are going to be the first one before a man or a young boy that's going to make your child go against you. Because it is. That's the God's honest truth. It is always them friends that's gonna talk your parents into doing something you ain't got no business doing. And that's what I'm saying. I don't look at kids because they got on the preppy outfits. I don't look at none of that. I look at the fact of their behavior. And then I look at their parents' behavior. Because if I go and say something to them and they say, oh, well, it's this and this and this. No. We ain't doing it. So just be very mindful of that. So at the end of the day, like I said, everybody has things they gotta deal with. But at the end of the day, as kids, that's the reason why when kids grow up, that love, like, appreciate, valued, wanted, needed to be a part of something. That is why that happens, because these kids are looking for something that they can't find. So you have to be smart about that. So I get it. A lot of y'all sitting here thinking, oh, well, I need to get somebody that I can take care of and I can upgrade. Let me break something to y'all in this mommy daddy child dynamic. You don't want a spouse, you want a child. You want a child. You want somebody, how little girls, and let me tell you why women are more responsible than men, because little girls get to play Barbie dolls. Let me break down why, even though both of them are Barbie dolls, there's a difference between a Barbie doll and a G.I. Joe doll. For those of y'all who don't know what G.I. Joe is, go watch the cartoon. Anyway, like I said, most boys got G.I. Joe. Or they got some type of, doll, whether it's a wrestling doll, regardless of what doll it is. Well, with a boy, he's not using that doll to play house with. He's not using that doll for anything that's got anything to do with marriage. He is using that doll because it's a wrestling doll. So those two dolls are gonna be sitting up there wrestling. So I'm a little confused when y'all say, "Oh, men are more responsible. Men are more this." Are they? When they're not even beginning to know anything about what is going on with anything. I'm confused. How are you gonna say that men give structure when men are the ones that damage their structure? Half of them, you go in their apartment, don't even know how to cook for themselves. They don't even know how to clean for themselves. Half of these dudes are working, and depending on if you live in a county or you live in a city or you live in a state, it just depends on that. Depends on which one you live in. Some people can go to Atlanta and be just fine. Some people can go to Florida. They can go to Texas. They can go. This ain't Texas. They can go to Texas. They can go to California. They can go to New York and all them states up there. They can go to Chicago and still not get paid much. So I'm just saying, there are plenty of places to go. Trust me. But at the end of the day, like I said, when it comes to your kids, y'all better start talking to these kids while they're young and start prepping them every year for what they're gonna face when they go to school. That way they know how to deal with it. You need to start letting them watch shows about high school so they're prepped for it. The whole summer they should be prepping for what they get ready to face when they go to school. So that way you ain't got to worry about these issues. Because that's why I love Kids Incorporated, because Kids Incorporated dealt with issues based upon the age group. So depending on what age the child is, they prep them for what they're going to be dealing with. So that's why I said it's important that you let them watch. Like, even if they watch Mean Girls, some of y'all gonna be like, why would you want my child to watch Mean Girls? Because Mean Girls teach your kids not only about bullies, but also how they're influenced by other girls. That's why. Revenge of the Nerds is another one you might want to have them look at come high school and college. Because that is what they will be dealing with. So anything that's age appropriate, they need to look at. That way, when they go to school, they ain't got to worry about, feeding into that, because now they know, okay, well, I saw this and my mom taught me this. And it ain't going to take but a couple minutes to watch the movie together. And then ask them what they learned from it. They'll say, oh, I learned that, you know, this is actually a big thing. So we'll see. So, like I said, everybody's different when it comes to how they deal with situations. So, like I said, I'm just using my situation as an example. If my son would have went through that, I don't think he'd have been able to handle it. So, like I said, it's just like somebody messing with somebody who has a disability. What is wrong with y'all? Why would you go after a child that has a disability for? So, like I said, at the same time, just be mindful. Is it easy? No. So, like I said, we'll see how everything play out. But like I said, long as your kids got all the information, and like I said, instead of putting them on punishment, make them write a 5-page paper. Make them write a paper. Make them write a paper as to why they did what they did. So this how the paper should go. Number one, who they was with, where they were at when this took place, what was said to convince your child to do it, and then why should they be friends with this person considering the circumstance. That's the way you get a child to learn something. Make them write an essay. Make them have to look up, what it's like to be bullied. Sometimes you need to take them somewhere and let them see what it's like to go through the same thing. Strip them of everything, especially girls. If you strip them of everything, I promise you they'll stop. So like I said, it's always something. So like I said, when it comes to recovery, it's not easy. So all I will say is life is crazy. But if we were more prepared as kids, a lot of us would have had kids. A lot of us would have got married until we were 30. And I mean, shout outs to Beyonce. Beyonce said she wasn't having no more kids. She wouldn't have no kids at all till 30. She had her last two, I think she was like 35. So Beyonce will be just fine. My nose is stuffy. Don't mind me. I've been crying, so don't mind me. So anyway, like I said, instead of having your kids taking stuff out their room, make them do a research paper. Because by doing a research paper, they are learning about these things, and it's better that. And see, this is what I'm saying. I ain't never gonna stop being a parent. I don't care. I don't want to be my child's friend, but I do want to be his therapist. So this is how I look at it. I'm the therapist, I'm the butler, I'm the maid, I am the counselor, I'm the life coach, I'm the provider. So let me break down something from a whole different perspective. And men don't never think about this, but I'm gonna say this for what this is. Let's say, for example, I have a son, right? His firstborn. I'm using me and my son's father. I have his firstborn son, right? His only son, biological son. Okay. So let's say, for example, that I decide not to financially take care of my son because his daddy is supposed to take care of him no matter what. Would I be in the wrong? Would I be in the wrong if I say I'm not supposed to take care of my son because he's supposed to be able to take care of himself because he's a man. Am I wrong for that? As a mother, I'm gonna say it again. I have a son, and y'all talk about women ain't supposed to take care of men. Doesn't it also apply to sons? So if I have your firstborn child, your firstborn son, and you're not taking care of him as far as child support, but yet and still you want me to go half on certain things. I'm just saying, put it all out there. So if you're saying that I'm not supposed to take care of a man, wouldn't it also mean I'm not supposed to take care of my son either? I'm just saying. Think about the context. If I have to take care of my son until he's 18 or over the age of 18 until he moves out of my house, I'm still obligated to take care of him. So it would be no different than my daughter. If I'm not supposed to work, that means I ain't supposed to take care of my kids financially, which means he's supposed to take care of them. So if you're telling me I'm supposed to stay home and I got one child or even two by you, ain't you supposed to be paying my bills? I'm just saying. If you're saying that you don't care about a woman's money, if you're saying that you don't care whether or not she's successful or not, but yet and still you leave her with the responsibility of a child, I'm a little lost. I'm lost on that. That's the primary example that I'm trying to use here. Because if you're saying that, okay, a woman is not supposed to work, you don't care about her money, but yet you leave her with a child and she has no job. Let's say um let's say, okay, I'm gonna use somebody. Let's say, for example, a woman's been married for 20 years, never worked a day in her life. They've been married for 20 years. And he just decides to up and leave. That is one thing because their kids are grown. That's different. But let's say you've been together for about 4 or 5 years before you had your firstborn child. Y'all have this child. He decides he don't want nothing to do with it. He ups and leaves you with his son. Now, mind you, you ain't supposed to be working, remember? He's supposed to be taking care of you. But yet, women don't pay attention to that. So you're saying that you leaving me, I'm supposed to fend for myself and take care of two kids? Oh, okay. But yet you're telling women that certain things do matter. Does it? So I'm just saying, what are y'all talking about here? Because if men are saying, okay, you don't have to work, I got it, that means I don't have to take care of my kids financially. That means my baby daddy is supposed to take care of me financially, regardless of who he's with, because I have two of his kids. But yet you go take care of a woman that don't got a job that's twice your junior, that ain't got a job, but you'll make sure she's straight, but she ain't got kids by you. She has no kids by you, but you'll let me go out there and be homeless. Won't even come get your kids. And every day I see this. I see every day there are women out there with their kids and they're single mothers. Every day. I see it every day. It was one girl on TikTok where the girlfriend came, didn't bother to say, I'll come get the kids while you get yourself together. Nope, she just came and gave her some money and left. So you don't care nothing about your kids being out there in the streets. That's why I said, women, if you're going to have an argument, this is how the argument need to go. You're saying you don't care about my money, but yet when you abandon me, you're expecting me to get out there and work and take care of your kids. Because you certainly are not giving me no money to take care of. So that's why I'm saying this in the way I'm saying it, because that's why I said when it comes to how people respond is what matters. These men can't respond to that. They wouldn't even know how to respond to that. Because if you're saying that my money doesn't matter, I don't have to work, and you're saying that in the Bible, all I'm supposed to do is take care of your kids. So wouldn't that mean even though you abandon me, you still supposed to put a roof on my head? You still supposed to make sure my kids got food in the mouth? Because that's what you're saying. And that's what I'm saying. I wish women would read between the lines. He's only gonna take care of them kids as long as he's with you. Or he ain't got no choice, meaning there's a court order saying he's got them kids every other week. Man, do you know how many men complain about having their kids every other week? They complain about having their kids every other week, every single day. They do not want to have these kids every other week. They don't. But certain states, if you get divorced, yes, you will have your kids every other week. And you can't live within 50, I think within 50 miles away. So that means if he wants to go move to a whole other state, he can't do it. Because he can't leave his kids because he has his kids every other week. And they will not change that family plan. They will not change it. So you have to stay where you at. So this woman can get up and move as many times as she wants to. There ain't nothing you can do about it. You gonna have to move right along with her, or you're gonna be driving long distances to go get your kids. It's very much an inconvenience for them kids. So it's gonna be interesting. That's why I go on panels. I don't go on panels because I'm somebody that got common sense. Because I'm just sitting like when I hear men say, "Well, I don't care if a woman has a degree. I don't care that she has money. But when you are, who gonna take care of the kid if y'all break up and you decide you don't want to be a father? Who gonna take care of this kid if one day the mother says, I don't want to be a mother anymore? Man, just because somebody give birth to a child does not mean they are a mother. It does not mean that they are a mother. It doesn't mean they have the qualifications to even be a mother. Y'all need to go ahead on with this nonsense seriously. And these are conversations that I want to do panels on, because these are conversations we really do need to have. So I don't mind doing a panel about, Sonya Massey, and yeah, I heard about that. I want people to be able to have a disagreement, but it's just not on a disrespectful manner. Because like I said, I would like to have my channel where I can have, interviews with people, and, have these uncomfortable conversations. Because that's one of the most uncomfortable conversations you can have, where you say, okay, so you're saying as long as you're with me, you'll take care of the kids, but when it comes to some more, it's like I gotta think what song it was, but anyway, but that's why when you get on these panels with people, you better have your arguments, your receipts, and you better make sure you know what you're speaking of, because people like me will tear you to shreds. Because while you sitting there talking to me and you're giving your reply, I am sitting up here researching what you're saying and coming up with a whole nother way around it. That's the whole point of these conversations. So while I'm sitting there talking, this person should be researching what I'm saying. So in other words, you should have studied me before you even came up there. You should have studied my channel before you came up here. So that way you know what I talk about. So that way when you come up there, you can say, well, I did some research, and yeah, you're right on this point, but on this point, you might be wrong. I'll look at it, I'm like, okay. And then I'll keep strolling. I'm like, okay, let me find something to rebuttal with. It ain't nothing but a debate. The argument ain't nothing but a debate. That's it. There's two different types of debates: emotional debates and physical debates. Debates, I'm sorry. So, I mean, I'm just saying. I just want people to understand that when everybody has a different way of thinking, for me, I'm like this. If you're saying to me, you don't care about my money, and you just want me to stay home and take care of kids, that means we break up, and that's gonna be in my marriage contract. That would have been in my marriage contract. If we break up, you still paying my bills. Cause you told me I didn't have to work. So being you told me I don't have to work, you gonna still make sure that I have a roof over my head. You still paying for the electric bill. You still paying for everything until I decide I don't want you to no more. But they ain't ready for that conversation. They ain't ready for that conversation at all. Cause not one single solitary man understands what I'm saying while I'm asking that question. Because it's mommy daddy child dynamic. So let me explain. When a man has seen his mother cook, clean, pay bills, take care of everything, that is what he's gonna expect because his mother did it. And a lot of y'all can't even complain because God honest truth. I was like amazed about that part. Because like I said, you don't know how somebody thinks. Everybody thinks differently. So like I said, if I was to go on somebody's panel and say that, they were like, well, no, that's not, that is exactly what you said. Because you're saying in the Bible, it says that a man is supposed to provide and protect, a man is supposed to pay the bills, and whatever money the woman makes, she's supposed to keep her own money. What's hers is hers, and what's yours is hers. That's true, it's in the Bible. So, point blank, period. Her money is supposed to go towards the kids and vacations and stuff like that. That's how that's supposed to go. So that's the reason why. So like I said, you just gotta be mindful of the fact that you don't know what somebody going through. But like I said, a lot of y'all don't think to research before you start, confront. Even when it comes to getting divorced, do your research. Try to make sure you find them loopholes, because you don't want to go in there and you don't know what it is you're up against. Because when you're dealing with people, you have no idea what you're gonna be dealing with. Everybody's different. That's pretty much it. So that's what I mean when I say mommy, daddy, child dynamic, because you're basically raising another woman's child that did not raise her child. How can she raise her child when she's at work for 12 hours a day? You can't raise your kids and you work 8 to 10 hours a day. And then when you get home, you barely talk to them. So how in the world are you teaching them anything? And half the homework that you're trying to teach them don't even work. So you're not the one teaching them. Other kids and teachers are teaching them. That's it. So I get it. I absolutely get it. So like I said, I'm about to go to bed and get some sleep. I just wanted to come on here because I saw that thing that touched my spirit, and I had to talk about it. Like I said, you don't know how smart somebody is. You don't know who somebody is by looking at them. And what it is, before I go, you got people that watch their parents be the one to take care of them. So does that make sense? So like I said, you're marrying somebody that did not raise their child. And that's the reason why I say no. So just be mindful. Like I said, you don't know how somebody gonna come at you. So like I said, when it comes to mommy daddy child dynamics, the fact that you call somebody daddy that's not even your biological father, majority of women are looking for a daddy and majority of men are looking for a mother. You're not looking for a partner, you're not looking for a spouse. You are looking for a parent. And the reason you want a parent because you want this is what it is. And I'm being as honest and as transparent as I can. And I'm not gonna say which ex it is. But what I will say, I learned this from both my exes I lived with for over 7 years. I've learned a lot. A lot of times there are men out here that start off wanting to help as far as so that's just something you got to look at. So when it comes down to, for example, if a man has a woman that has done everything, I mean literally everything, he's gonna expect his wife to be the same way. Because most men want a woman that's like their mother, unless they don't get along with their mother, then they want some. They still want a mother, but they want somebody that's gonna let them do whatever they want to while they living underneath your roof, and basically, so like I said, I know it's a lot, but at the end of the day, all of this stuff should be taken care of, because what happens is when you have kids, and I'm not even gonna go here. When you have kids, the parents are jealous of the child. Have you ever heard? Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say you got a year old, like 12-month old child, maybe 1.5, maybe. Let's say mom lays on daddy, right? That child is like, if you don't get off my daddy, that's my daddy. That's my. I'm like, why are you calling him daddy? So that's my daddy. So like I said, if you're someone like, um, let's see, Sydney Poitier. I'm trying to think. But anyway, like I said, when you have a woman that raised her child to be um the boyfriend or the husband, this man is, every time he does something, he does for his mother first. And yet he won't do nothing for anybody else, and it's sad. As a matter of fact, there is something I will be talking about that. But there are a lot of people that want a parent for multiple different reasons, and some of them are named behind you. So, with that being said, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. I'm sleeping. So, like I said, I mean, most people want mommy, daddy, child dynamics. You're gonna be raising a child. I don't care if it's a male or female, because, like I said, I have to tell men this all the time. Like, it's one thing if she's living her dream and she's getting paid for it, then okay, fine. Because as soon as you lose your job, you're gonna go to her asking her, can she pay the bills? So that's what I'm saying. So these men don't think outside of, I'm just gonna have sex with this woman. They don't think nothing past it. So I'm about to get me some rest, and I will, like I said, it's a mess. It is. But like I said, a lot of y'all are dealing with women that don't have fathers, and men that have mothers, but they treat them more like, boyfriends and husbands, and that's why they're not gonna raise somebody else's kid. And no, I'm not snoring. My throat. See what it is? My throat at night when I lay down, and I found this out from the doctor. A lot. My throat is messing with my nose, my thyroid, everything. So they're trying to figure out what it is. But if I start like laying down, it'll sound like I'm snoring. I'm wide awake. It just does. I don't know why. And plus, I'm congested. So, but like I said, I'm just saying, these are things that got to be looked at in the same topic. So you got to be mindful of what you do, because you never know what may happen. But y'all got to stop. Y'all got to stop trying to be parents to somebody else's child. I would send them right back to their mom. And sure enough, I do. I send them right back to their mom. If they mama come in there talking about my son wants this, you gonna be the one to cook it for him, because I'm not doing it. I ain't doing nothing of the sort. So that's just some food for thought. I'm gonna get ready to go to bed 'cause I'm tired. But anyway, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. But don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button to receive notifications of my videos. See, I threw you off. I threw y'all off. I know. They're like, she gonna talk about. Mm-mm. I did all of that for a reason. Cause again, y'all are dating children. You're not. You're not dating somebody besides you. You're dating someone that is a panther. So, like I said, as time go on, you will get it. It all makes sense. But like I said, that's the thing. When you're on a sabbatical, you gotta research. That's all you do is research. And when you research, you're realizing that a lot of stuff in the Bible, a lot of stories in the Bible you can relate to. You can look in the Quran. So like I said, just because you're reading a Buddhist book does not mean you're doesn't mean that you're studying Buddhism. It just no, it doesn't mean that you're worshiping Buddhism. It just means that you're actually trying to get to know. So just some food for thought. So I'm getting ready to go to bed. I appreciate y'all. I do because I'm tired. But I just want to come on here and I'm gonna upload the video that I got this topic from, and then it'll all make sense because when you hear what he has to say about the fact of not acknowledging negative people when they say things and not trying to explain yourself, you'll understand why. So, like I said, I'm trying to think if I can find it. But anyway, I'll look for it later. Tomorrow, I'll see if I can find it. But I just want to come on here because I found that topic. But I'm gonna go and download the video. I think I did download it. You'll see it. You'll see it with the same title as this video, and if you look at it, it'll make sense why I said what I said. And I'll probably go into more in detail because I do have a podcast that I got to do. So there is a topic that's the same. There's a part two to this, but it's more or less health and wellness. So I talk about it in multiple different facets. But I know how you get comfortable, you don't even move. Let me get up. So y'all, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, but yeah, it is late. It's almost 2 in the morning, and I ain't trying to be up late. But like I said, this is just some food for thought. This is how the topic. This is how this channel's gonna be. This channel, I might talk about Cardi B tomorrow. I might talk about who else? Baby mamas. I might talk about men that walk away from their children. You don't know what I'm gonna talk about. But a lot of times it's on TikTok. If you go on my TikTok, you'll see the topic. You'll see it because I either have done a video, but I want to go more in detail about it on my live. So that's how that works. If I go live, it's because it's a topic that really just blew me away. I'm like, look, I got to go on live and talk about this. But like I said, eventually I will be bringing people up, no differently than TikTok, to be able to come up here and to be able to have a conversation. I just ain't trying to talk about that no more. I ain't trying to talk about that situation no more. But I just want to use the situation to prove why I don't care what you do. If people have already accused you of something, so I don't know. But we'll see what happens. Because the thing with Offset and Cardi B is a whole different entity. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all again. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button to receive notifications of my videos. If anything else, I'm probably not coming back till next week. Because tomorrow is my Sabbath day and I am resting. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do my prayers and then I'm going to sleep. And then sometimes I also will post scriptures as well because I'm on a spiritual sabbatical, so you won't hear me cursing a lot, if at all. So with that being said, we'll see how I go. We'll see how this channel goes. I mean, it was nice, having conversation with y'all. And I seen I seen some of y'all stuff, and the second half of this video, I'll go through all the chats, and I'll respond to what y'all said. But like I said, everybody got a right, whether you agree or disagree, and that's fine. You're supposed to. But it shouldn't be no, bitchu, you wrong. Just don't automatically say I'm wrong. All I'm saying is, if there's something you want to add to what I said that may contradict it, by all means, I'm for it. I'm all for, contradictions, because contradictions can be a good thing. But that's something we all can work out. So, like I said, I'll figure it out. But with that being said, I'm off to bed. I'm tired. It's been a long day. But like I said, I hope this conversation helps you. But it's just every time, just think about it this way: every time somebody says something, just think about when Jesus was crucified, and think about the fact that he had to sit there and deal with these people making false allegations and what happened to him. Just look at it that way, because it really isn't worth it. And if it just so happens I meet somebody, cool. If I don't, oh well. So anyway, our life will carry on. So like I said, that's the whole point of the situation is move in silence. 48 Laws of Power is the best book to read when it comes to how to deal with people. I'm telling you, it will forever change your life. When your kid get about 13, 14 years old, have them read the 48 Laws of Power. Because they'll have a better understanding of it. Because that way, when they turn like a year or 14 months or whatever. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And I am going to bed. So I don't know what the next topic is going to be. You should see it. It should be posted. What the next topic is going to be. And when it's going to be. Because I'm going to rest my throat. My throat hurts. So I'm going to rest it for a couple days. And I gotta go. I gotta do my podcast tomorrow anyway. One of them is gonna be attached to my podcast, so it's gonna actually be attached to it. So it's a topic I've been waiting to talk about for a while. So can't wait to see y'all, or at least So with that being said, good night, y'all. I will see y'all next time. Bye. Oops, the wrong button. I hit the wrong button.